I want to give you my top 5 favorite features of the Ecoflow Delta 2 Max. Some of the things that no other battery company does. This thing has a lot of cool tech. I want to show you that today. First, probably my favorite thing about it is how much it can be expanded. You can go from a 2 kilowatt battery all the way up to a 6 kilowatt hour battery, which is pretty close to a whole home backup if you have a small home. If you had a 2-3 bedroom home, a 6 kilowatt backup, which would be 3 of these, could run the home for a backup situation, which is phenomenal that you could start with a battery like this, add on 2 more, and have a home backup. Obviously you have to wire it in, but having a backup where you can start with this and grow slowly over time, you don't have to make a big investment in one battery all at once. This allows you to start with a portable backup battery that you can use for other situations, but then also have it for home emergency situations as well, which is phenomenal. It can output a consistent 2,400 watts, which can run anything from microwaves, toaster ovens, toasters, refrigerators, freezers, lights in the house, Wi-Fi boxes. It can run all of those things. There's not many appliances in your house that are going to need more than 2,400 watts. And if they do, like for example, a heater or air conditioning unit that's going to spike when the motor turns on, this has a peak output of 3,400 watts for those specific situations where you need a peak really quickly, like for an AC startup, and then it drops back down a little bit. But that allows you to use small air conditioning units, small heaters, and all those other appliances in your home. Obviously not at the same time, but it allows you to use all of that in a backup emergency situation, which is phenomenal. Speaking of adding on to it, these are the 2 ports you can add on. So you put one of the additional batteries and plug it into this one, the other additional battery and plug it into this one. That makes a combined battery situation where they all are discharging together, and it's a more efficient discharge of battery. And you have that compounding effect of the wattage where you can run bigger things and you can run things for longer as it has a larger battery to pull from. Kind of going along the same thread of having this as a backup option, you literally could buy this, then 8 years down the road, you have an emergency where you need it. As long as it's charged, it is going to work. You have a 10-year warranty on this of 3,000 charge cycles before it goes below that 80% threshold of capacity. So to have something that lasts that long and is able to give you that emergency coverage throughout that long of a time period where you can have this charged up, and then one day when you have an emergency 5 years down the line, you still have this thing and it's not degrading. It's not like one of those old batteries where you try to get the old battery out of something and it's dead. This thing's gonna last a long, long time. The battery chemistry is really, really good, and it's supposed to last 3,000 charge cycles or about 10 years. Something that's unique about this battery, you actually have 2 solar inlets. It allows you to plug in more capacity with solar. That's just going to be nicer to allow this to charge up quicker. Because it is such a large battery, you're going to want more solar input if you are charging it from solar. So this one has 2 solar inputs here to allow you to charge it faster with solar, to be able to maximize what you're getting out of this battery. This thing is heavy. It weighs in at 50 pounds, which is movable. You can definitely move it, but it is 50 pounds. It has these good handles that are allowing you to move it around pretty easily. I can hold it with one hand, but it is a beefy battery. But it's right below too big where you have to have a dolly or something. It really is not too bad to move it around and take it where you need to go. It's not too big of a deal. If you need to charge a lot of things at the same time, this has 18 separate plugs, from USB to car outlets to solar outlets to normal wall outlets. You have all of the outlets you could possibly need if you need to plug in a lot of things at the same time. The price on this is also really, really good. And sometimes you can find it for really good deals. Like right now, for example, it's on sale for $1,099 on Amazon. It's 40% off of what it normally is. So make sure you're waiting for those sales, because this does go on sale. Right now it's at 40% off at $1,099, which is actually really good compared to some of the other batteries on the market. Some of the other competitors at this 2,000 watt battery size. A couple other things, like you can use this for camping. You can use this for your RV. You could be using this for backup just in your house. Something you don't use all the time, but something you just have when you need it. We use it actually a lot for when we're camping and we have a little refrigerator in the back of our truck. And so you have this to power that little refrigerator, and it has no problem doing it. Then we have solar panels on top of the rooftop tent, and it just is like a phenomenal package where it powers everything up. It does everything it needs to be doing for powering the little fridge and a hot plate and some lights for us. So it's been a really big deal for us. It's been super helpful how quiet it is. We can have it on all night where it's not going to be disturbing us during the sleep. And it just has a ton of power in it. Again, having the 2400 watts that it can output consistently, and then just being that big of a battery where it's a 2400 watt battery, you just now have a ton of power.